All right, let's talk about something that pretty much every trader gets wrong at some point, the daily loss cap. Now, most people see it as, a suggestion, a soft guideline, and honestly, that's a huge mistake. Today, we're going to break down exactly why it's not just a good idea. It's the one thing, the firewall, standing between you and a total account blow-up.
I mean, this just hits the nail on the head, right? It feels so true. We start the day with all the right intentions. We set our rules, but then the market moves against us, and suddenly that hard and fast rule starts to feel a little flexible. And that's it. That's the exact moment the real danger starts creeping in.
And I bet you've heard these voices in your head before. I know I have. Oh, just one more trade. This setup looks perfect. Or the classic, I just need to get back to even. In the heat of the moment, they sound so rational, don't they? But what's actually happening under the surface is this quiet little shift. A shift from being a disciplined strategist to just being a gambler throwing chips on the table. So let's just completely reframe this idea. What if we stop thinking about the loss cap as a guideline and start seeing it for what it really is? A critical safety system. A firewall that's designed to automatically shut everything down and protect your capital when things go haywire. To really prove this point, let's run a little experiment. Okay, so here's the setup. We're going to simulate the trading careers of two different people, Trader A and Trader B. Now, they're practically identical in every single way, except for one tiny crucial rule, and you're about to see how that single difference changes absolutely everything.
So the foundation here is solid. Both of our traders are using the exact same strategy. And guess what? It's a profitable one. They have a 55% win rate, a 1-to-1 risk reward, which means they have a real mathematical edge of 0.1 R on every single trade they take. On paper, these two should both be successful.
And here it is. This is the only difference between them. Profile A, we'll call him the professional, has a hard daily loss cap. The second he's down 3R, the computer gets turned off. Period. No overrides, no exceptions. But Profile B, the gambler, has no cap at all. He just keeps trading no matter how bad the day gets, convinced he can dig himself out of any hole. So, we put these two profiles to the test. We ran a simulation of hundreds and hundreds of trading days. Remember, same strategy, same edge, but a completely different philosophy on risk. And the results, well, they aren't just interesting. They are a massive warning sign. So at first glance, you might look at this and think, what's the big deal? Profile B, the gambler, actually has slightly better median returns, and this is why this trap is so seductive. On an average day, it seems like ignoring the rule doesn't really matter. But averages can hide some really ugly truths. And boom, here is the hidden danger, laid bare. Just look at the difference in maximum drawdown. Profile A, our professional, keeps the damage contained, manageable. But Profile B, he suffers these catastrophic, soul-crushing drawdowns that are more than 4 times deeper. This right here, this is how accounts get blown to smithereens. Let's be really clear about what a number like that actually means. It's not just a number on a chart. It represents the horror day. You know the one? The day where a month of grinding, of disciplined, hard work is just vaporized in a few frantic hours of revenge trading. Profile B didn't have a firewall, so the fire just burned everything to the ground. And here's the bottom line. It's absolutely staggering. Even though they had the exact same winning strategy, Profile B is 4 times more likely to go completely broke. Their risk of ruin just skyrockets, all because they refused to decide in advance how bad a bad day was allowed to get. Okay, so we've seen what happens. That's the easy part. Now we have to diagnose why it happens. What is this hidden force at play that creates such a massive difference in their outcomes? This is the question that should be bugging you right now. If the core strategy is profitable, how on earth can one trader do okay while the other is constantly facing disaster? Well, the answer is in this destructive little pattern that only shows up on losing days. We can actually give this a name, the hidden martingale. Now, it's not a formal strategy anyone would choose. It's this emotional, knee-jerk reaction that's fueled by loss aversion. You know, that intense psychological pain we feel when we lose money. So on a bad day, the trader isn't just executing their plan anymore. They're running their plan, plus this incredibly destructive betting pattern on top of it. And this is what that spiral into madness looks like. It starts with just a couple of normal, everyday losses. But then that loss aversion kicks in hard, and the emotional pressure, what we call tilt, starts to build. And suddenly, the mission changes. It's no longer execute my strategy. It becomes I have to get my money back. Rules get bent, then they get broken. And that's how you open the door for one terrible day to come in and destroy weeks of progress.
So let's wrap this all up. The data from our experiment is crystal clear. The psychology behind it is undeniable. The only sane, logical response is to start treating your daily loss limit not as some vague suggestion, but as the most critical piece of your entire trading system. This quote right here just says it all. A professional makes their most important risk decision when they're calm, objective, and rational, before the market even opens. The amateur waits and makes that same exact decision in the heat of battle after 3 losses when they're emotional, biased, and in the worst possible state of mind to be making decisions. And this is the absolute truth about a loss cap. It does absolutely nothing for you on your green days. Zero. Its only job, its entire purpose, is to put a hard ceiling on how bad your worst days can ever get. It's purely a defensive weapon, designed to make sure your mistakes can never, ever be fatal. So I want to leave you with this one question to really think about. Is your daily loss cap a real, non-negotiable, automated firewall that protects you from yourself? Or is it just a line in the sand that you're hoping you'll have the discipline to stick to when things get really tough? Because in the markets, hope is not a strategy.